lights are out, you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
After an absolute slugfest last week at Kentucky, which saw series debutant Michael Anthony get his first win in only 3 starts, we now move to the World Center of Racing in Daytona International Speedway for round number 9 of the CleanRacing.net Truck Series Season 12. Tony Trapasso up in the booth with you for this one, and we bring you tonight's race with a very heavy heart. The CleanRacing.net family has lost one of our own, and we're actually going to start this broadcast with a moment of silence. Scotty was one of the original members in the early days of the CleanRacing.net series. Unfortunately, he just lost his battle with cancer. Thoughts and prayers go out to the entire Zirk family. That's Scotty Zirk. And we offer condolences in this time of need, and I'm sure, as we've come accustomed to, the iRacing community will step up as we seem to do and try to give some comfort to the Zurich family. Sorry about that, folks. I always get a little choked up when I have to do these announcements. But take a quick look at the conditions here tonight at Daytona for round number 9. 79-degree ambient air temperature, 54% water grain, which means these trucks are going to be making gobs of horsepower. The one thing that's got me very concerned, though, is that track temperature of 126 currently, and it's sure to just keep rising as the race wears on. Take a quick look at our championship standings coming into tonight. There we go. Greg Barnett currently sitting atop the pile. Only 1 point to the good over Austin Carey, who had a race he just as soon forget at Kentucky. Jason Higginbottom, the same thing. That race did not go anywhere near as planned for the 44. Currently sitting at 230 or 264. Nate Brown and Evan Kinney rounding out your top 5. Actually, Nate Brown with Evan Kinney and Josh Lilly. Josh Lilly and Chris Smith tied for 6th currently. We're 9 races in, and we have a couple of ties going on. We have multiple 1-point splits between drivers. This is turning into one of the most amazing seasons for the cleanracing.net that I've been able to bear witness to a while, I should say. And currently, Jason Higginbottom won the season opener at Chicagoland. Nate Brown won at Nashville Super Speedway. Josh Lilly, Joey Stiers traded wins at New Hampshire and Pocono. IRP went to Lilly. Michigan went to Stiers. Parker Collins won Richmond, and Michael Anthony won last week at Kentucky. Who's going to come home with the trophy here tonight from Daytona? We're about to find out as qualifying getting ready to fire off now. And, of course, it is. All right. So live timing and scoring is not playing nicely with me. Bear with me a second, folks, as I have to restart that portion of the deal tonight. Let's try that again. There we go. And let's go to... Looks like Darren Staff going to be the first one to lay a time down here tonight in qualifying. There he is in the Nintendo number 59. Two laps of solo qualifying to get it done here at Daytona. First lap is pretty much going to be a throwaway for everybody, as they're trying to use up as much track as they possibly can to try to get these trucks up to speed. It takes about a lap and a half to get them to full song. So coming out of pit road, getting it up to speed, you're going to stay up on the high side. We're going to see most of these guys stay up on the high side until they start their second lap. Then they're going to be right down on that double yellow mustard line. First laps are going to start to trickle in here as Staff lays down the gauntlet early with a 53.37. Looks like Jamie LaRoque's got one going right now. Yes, he does. Almost a full second quicker for the 15 of LaRoque. There he is in the Budweiser Chevy. Mike McCrate in the Nuclear Banana. Pennzoil number 8 is currently sitting second quick. Parker Collins, who does finally have the monkey off his back and has gotten a win this season, starting his second lap. And you can see he's right down on that low line. Lets it drift up down the back straightaway. Something a little bit different than what we see a lot of guys do. The second Budweiser Chevy, being driven by Kevin Hayes, currently sits in the number 5 spot as Staff. His second lap does improve, but does not wrestle the pole away. As we are going to take a look at Joey Stiers as he is on his now starting his second lap as a flyer. You see him right down on that yellow line coming through the corners. Parker Collins just blistered one. 52.38. Almost a full tenth of a second quicker than anyone else has gone yet. Stiers with a good head of steam goes purple in the first sector on his second flyer. As you see Stier right down on that mustard line coming through 3 and 4. Lets it run to try to use the hill. The downhill coming off of turn 4. Right down onto the apron across the stripe for Stiers. 52.38. 2 1,000ths of a second quicker than Parker Collins went. Ry Lewis out on track on his second hot lap right now for qualifying. And if my math was correct, we've got 19 trucks in the infield tonight. I want to thank everybody for joining us in the live chat. Let us know who you're pulling for. As that's going to do it for Lewis. Michael Anthony, last week's winner, now starting to roll it. Dylan Grimm in the 7 jumps up to third quick in that Napa Toyota. And qualifying comes to an end. So a lot of drivers electing to not take time in the qualifying session. I'm going to take a quick look at our starting grid. Joey Stiers, Parker Collins, 1 1,000th of a second difference between those two. That's going to be your front row. Dylan Grimm and Jamie LaRoque, only 5 1,000ths separating those two in row number 2. And then we get a little bit of separation. 50,000 separation between Kevin Hayes and Mike McCrate in row 3. Darren Staff, Ry Lewis in row number 4. Row 5 sees the teammates Chris Worrell and Michael Anthony. That is row 5. Row 6 goes to Jacob Grant and Lane Hosler. Row number 7 goes to Abron Gaston and Evan Kinney. Nate Brown and Brian Toole making up row number 8. Jeremy Moore and Nate Tellman starting in row number 9. Row 10 is going to see Stephen Tuck and Chris Smith. Greg Barnett and Austin Carey in row number 11, and starting shotgun on the field in the 23rd starting position is going to be Chief Cook and Bottle Washer here for the CleanRacing.net Truck Series. Driving the Ringside Report.net Chevy is going to be Fred Garcia. So 23 trucks scheduled to roll it here tonight at Daytona. 4 sets of tires to get them through the entirety of the race. 70% fuel fill. And no passing below the double yellow line at any time. This marks the 7th time this league has been here to Daytona. As we are going to have to get a different camera view there. Of course not. There we go. So 7th time we've been to Daytona. Joey Stiers won back in Season 7. Evan Kinney in Season 5. And Joey Stiers back in Season 4 as the truck starts to roll it behind the Chevy Silverado pace, or the official pace car of iRacing. 80 laps here tonight. As Geico restart zone is in effect. So something we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on as this race wears on. You see Steyer's Chevy, Parker Collins Toyota on the front row, LaRoque and Grimm on the second row. No. Okay, so Dylan Grimm had to go to the backup truck, which is the 89. Being scored as the 7, so little transponder swap going on there. Thank you all so much for joining us here tonight on Sim Racing Media. Round number 9 of the CleanRacing.net Truck Series here from Daytona. As the field works its way through the 3-4 complex, coming out of turn number 4, the only thing that's left to say is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab some popcorn, because it's time to get it on at the world's center of racing. Race fans, it's show time! Down into turn number 1 they go. Steyers and Collins still side by side. Dylan Grimm pushing on Steyers right now. A little bit of separation starting to form on that top lane. Steyers bailing out. That's going to hand the lead of the race over to the 7 of Grimm, being scored as the 89. 3 wide going into turn number 3. This is never a good idea. Kevin Hayes throwing it up through the middle. Chris Worrell in the 97 looking to possibly go with him. We know Worrell's not afraid to go 3 wide as he picks up his fellow Toyota stablemate. Grimm, Grant, Hayes, Collins, Worrell, your top 5. Ry Lewis flirting on the tailgate there of Worrell. A little bit of separation for your top 6 right now. Lane Hosler trying to make some headway. There he is leading the peloton right now. That front group has gotten pretty single filed out. They're starting to pull a little bit of a gap on this second group. Meanwhile, they're still 2 wide at the front of this piece. That's Collins and Worrell on the top side. Grimm and Grant on the low side, and they have Hayes as company. 2 Toyotas working on the top side, trying to make it happen. Drag race to the stripe. Give it to Grimm by 2 1/1000ths of a second. Collins and Worrell, they're going to need the help of Ry Lewis. 3 trucks are definitely going to be faster here tonight than 2 trucks. The only problem you've got to worry about is if you're the 3rd truck in the line, don't push the pusher. We preach on that every time we come to one of these plate tracks, because what happens is if you're the middle truck in line and there's separation between you and the truck behind you, there's air getting to your rear spoiler. If there's not air getting to your rear spoiler, you're about to go for a wild ride. Throw a blanket over your top 6 as Lane Hosler trying to lead that second group. They're starting to chip away as those guys in front of them are running 2 wide and punching a big hole in the air for the peloton to try to reel them back in. Hosler and LaRoque starting to get a little bit of a breakaway over Mike McCrate. Worrell trying to get some clean air to his radiator as Collins hangs him out to dry on the top side. Ry Lewis now going to have to work with the Balls Garana number 97 of Worrell as Parker Collins just starting to pull a little bit of a gap. Oh, that's why. Dylan Grimm just disappeared for a second. And just like that, we are back in one big group. And Worrell, absolutely no help on the top side yet. As the 4 of Nate Tellman coming up to try to help Worrell. There we go. Gets a little bit of a help there from the 45 of Grant. As Worrell now with the nose out front. Oy, that was a sketchy moment for sure. Grant now leads the top side with Talman up there with him. Worrell now leads the bottom lane with Parker Collins on his tailgate. Coming out of turn number 4. Second lane's going to get a little bit better run because they've got more of the downhill. Give that lap to Worrell by a truck length, though. And looks like Michael Anthony elected to pit start this. Talman and Grant trying to work the top side right now. We definitely see a little bit of teams forming here. You know, you're figuring out who you can work with at this point in the race, who can work with you, who's going to hang out to dry, and as right now Grant on the top side got a good run. Coming off of 4, Talman going to push him to the lead. Worrell battles back on the low side as he and Parker Collins are just glued together. Before Talman dropping down to the low side. He's going to hang the 45 of Grant out to dry. Almost has the clear. Now, Talman does have the clear on the top side if he chooses to want to go around. Grant finally to wrestle it back into line. There's Lane Holzler looking to the outside on Rye Lewis. 45 of Grant going to jump up to pick up Holzler. Those two Fords starting to work together. That's not a good sign for the rest of the field. As we've got four Toyotas at the front of this piece. Kevin Hayes is the lone Chevy in the top 10 right now. And you got Grant and Holzler running with each other. As we're on board with Holzler, that's Rye Lewis to his inside. And Grant has bailed out, gone back to the bottom lane. Holzler trying to use some side draft as they come through. Come through 3 and 4 there. %, fuel fill here tonight in the trucks. So with that, we're looking somewhere between lap 20 and 25 before they're going to have to come down for a fresh tank of Go Fast. Now, tires won't be as major of an issue as we've seen at other tracks, solely because the tire fall off here, it's rather negligible with the draft that you get here at Daytona. But as they currently sit, everybody trying to get single filed out, just riding right now, seeing what they got under the hood for a hot rod, and we're really going to see the aggression wick up. I'd say right around lap 65 when the money stop should be taking place. Holzler and Grant back on that top lane trying to make something happen. I don't think they've got anything right yet for those 4 Toyotas that are leading the bottom lane. Kevin Hayes might want to go up to the top line and try to help those 2 domestic trucks. Collins is around. Ooh-wee. That was definitely a pucker moment. We'll go back and take a look at what did happen here. Nope, and nope. Right here. This is what we were looking for. As we are going to go to our friends up in the Badger Blimp. Bump draft gone wrong as the 4 gets the 19 loose. It was definitely a Code Brown moment for everybody around him. But no harm, no foul. As we go back live. Worrell's now jumped up to the top side to pick up the 4 of Talman. The 89 of Grimm currently leading the bottom lane. Boy, that was a big swing out of Talman right in front of Grimm to throw the block on him. We're on board with Grimm right now. You see the Fort Collins native in the Napa Auto Parts Toyota. Talman now with a good shove from his Toyota stablemate. Worrell, Holzler, and Collins up on the top lane. They've got Rye Lewis, Dylan Staff, and I believe that's Jacob Grant as the caboose in that little fracas there. Yes, it is. Talman now shows the way. Currently sitting plus 17 from where he started. And, of course, I didn't turn the ticker on. I apologize, folks. So there you see Talman in the 4 leading the piece. The 89 being scored as the 7. That's Grimm in second place. Worrell leading the top line with Hosler in tow. Hosler and Parker Collins, I might add up there. And if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action here on Sim Racing Media. As tomorrow night, we've got actually a quintuple header in store for you. It all starts at 7:50 with the Gunner for SR Racing League as they go to their next round. AARL Truckers Freedom America Cup Series goes to their next round at Gateway, and that is an 8:20 Eastern Time start. 8:40 we go to the Rickmatech Cup Series at Kentucky. Monsters of Energy go to Pocono at 8:50, and in the nightcap, as we always do, Western States Racing League season number 47 at 10:05 as they go to the road course at Road America. So a ton of racing left just in the next 2 days here on Sim Racing Media. Thank you so much for making this part of your evening as we continue to watch this battle up in front. That is Darren Staff, sorry, Darren, as he's got Parker Collins in tow up there on the top shelf. The 4 of Nate Talman is getting pushed by the 89 of Dylan Grimm. Side by side down the super stretch here as we are on board with Talman. And just like that, Staff and Collins get up there. Staff has the clear, Collins does not. And unfortunately, last week's winner, the 88 of Michael Anthony, has already gone a lap down. There you see him up on the top side, trying to get back up to speed to possibly help his teammate Chris Worrell see his first trip to victory lane here in the CleanRacing.net Truck Series. Again, need to thank our good friends over at the RingsideReport.net for all your combat sport, MMA, boxing, wrestling, Muay Thai, kickboxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, whatever you want. They can cover it on the RingsideReport.net. You can find it on all your favorite streaming platforms too. Currently working lap 16 of 80. About 3/4 of the way through this first fuel run. We're expecting sometime in the next 10 laps to see green flag pit stops start. And ideally, you're not going to have to take tires here tonight. Maybe if we get a mid-race caution, yeah, you come down, slap 4 new sticker tires on it. Other than that, you're not really going to need, due to the tire wear being pretty negligible. As Chris Worrell was thinking about making it 3 wide down the backstretch, thought better of it. Staff shows the way with Collins in tow on the top shelf. Nate Tallman battles back on the low side as he's got help from Dylan Grimm. Staff now with the nose out front, coming to the stripe. By a fender, give it to Staff. This is one of the best runs we've seen in quite a while out of the driver of the number 20 out of Kingsland. That is Rye Lewis. One of the proud Tiny Dog Racing members, currently sits in second place, as it is a sea of Toyotas. Throw a blanket over your top six, as they are all Toyotas. Kevin Hayes in the 51 Chevy, the lone domestic, the first domestic in line, Lane Holzler, Jacob Grant, and Mike McCrate rounding out your top 10 right now. We go on board with Hayes coming through 1 and 2. There is Collins showing the way. He saw the blue commitment cone for the pit lane. That you cannot go above the mustard line until you get past that cone. So, basically, so we don't see anybody Kevin LePage the field. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about when I say Kevin LePage the field, open up a second tab in YouTube and Google the phrase Kevin LePage Talladega and watch the calamity. Everybody getting single filed out now. That's usually the tattletale that we're a handful of laps away from green flag pit stops. We're going to be at the quarter mark for this event next time by. Checking back a little deeper in the field. Second place in points. Austin Carey just trying to bide his time right now. Doesn't want to do anything crazy. He's got Jeremy Moore in the DuPont Toyota in front of him. Everybody playing nicely so far. We're on board with second in points, Austin Carey. And whilst I'm thinking, let's go on board with our points leader out of Lehman, South Carolina. That is Greg Burnett in the POW MIA Ford F-150. Barnett just trying to keep that truck clean. He's in safe hands behind him as he's got last week's winner, the Michael Anthony. And those of you who have watched any of the Friday night series that we broadcast here for the iRacing East Super Speedway series, you know as well as I do, Michael Anthony is one of the safest pushers you can have on your back bumper. Meanwhile, back up to the front, Parker Collins continues to show the way. The Pied Piper of Peoria, Illinois, showing the way around here tonight. Looking to become only the third driver this season to mark off multiple wins. And of all the places to do it, he's trying to get it at the World Center of Racing. Taking a look a bit forward here at the cleanracing.net schedule. Next week, we go to the Lady in Black for the season finale at Darlington. It doesn't seem like it's been 10 races. This is the penultimate round, though, here tonight from Daytona. 80 laps here, 120 laps next week at Darlington, and then we take a week or two off for week 13 and the next update that's going to be rolling out. But, we took a look at the point standings prior to going green, but let's take another quick look at those as we are going to try to bring those up. There we go. 1 point separates Greg Barnett and Austin Carey. They are currently, as we see green flag pit stop starting to take place, we'll get back to this. As we see some guys electing to stay out. Oy. As Brian Toole in the Mobile 1 Toyota on the low side. 69 and Nate Brown rocking the Viagra scheme tonight. Evan Kinney in the 6 is up there as well. As I believe that's Kinney in the, yes it is, the Miller Genuine Draft number 6. Lane Hosler, 61. Jeremy Moore, the caboose in that little freight train, as that's the second group peeling off. Chris Worrell has won the battle off pit road as he and Parker Collins 5 seconds to the clear over Joey Stiers right now. Good grief. It looks like 2 tire stops for everybody that time. There's Michael Anthony, who's a lap down, trying to help Collins and Worrell. Let's take a quick check with Anthony. There he is. Kevin Hayes popped for speeding on. Oh, the calamity. Not at all what he needed here. As there you see Worrell and Collins flashing by. Evan Kinney, who won the race off pit road from that second group, flirting with that disaster line coming down the back straightaway. The good news is he has Hosler in tow with him right now. So there are your 2 at the front of this piece. There we are with your points leader coming into tonight. We're going to go back and take a look at the points, see where everybody's running. As they sit right now, Greg Barnett in 16th. Austin Carey currently sitting second in points. Running in the top 10, he's currently sitting 9th with a gaggle of cars all around him. So good drafting help for him. And I just realized Jason Higginbottom is not here. So using this as his drop week. And Nate Brown, there he is in 12th. Josh Lilly is not here. Evan Kinney is here. As there he is in the Miller High Life number 6 on the low side. So still a lot of racing left to do this season. As we are going to take this moment to step away, pay a couple bills, and be back right after this.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
And we are back at Daytona for round number 9, the penultimate race in the CleanRacing.net Season 12 Truck Series. Tony Trapasso up at the booth with you tonight for Sim Racing Media. Thank you so much for being a part or making us a part of your evening. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up because it really does help share these videos around. And sorry, gentlemen, I did forget. Josh Lilly checking in the live chat. Dude, where are you at? As we were following your battle for the points lead right now, Austin Carey is in front of this man in the 38 who's working with Joey Stiers right now. So a Ford working with a Chevy as Stiers and Barnett changed positions, so neither one of them overheats. But they are 13 and 3/4 seconds adrift of the second pack. As there is your two leaders, that's Worrell and Collins. They've carved out almost a 4-second deficit back to the second group, being led currently by the 59 of Darren Staff. And with the numbers, that second group is starting to chip away at the lead that Worrell and Collins have carved out for themselves. It's now down to just over 3.5 seconds, the separation between Collins and Staff. And then there is Jeremy Moore in that DuPont Toyota on the high side being scored. No, actually, he and Brian Toole, the last two trucks in this Peloton pack. And unfortunately, Barnett and Stiers, well, no, they've got the numbers now, but they've been caught from behind. That is Barnett, Stiers, LaRoque, Gaston, Garcia, Tuck, McCrate, and I believe, yes, it is. And that's the 51 of Hayes in there as well. So they do have numbers, and they are digging into that lead in front of them. They've now cut it down from 16 down to 15 and 1/4. There's Worrell and Collins, your two race leaders. We're going to take a look at this second group. Oy. Jacob Grant trying to work the top side as you've got a couple of Fords leading that top shelf, trying to make something happen. And it's Grant and Hosler leading the top lane. Grant and Talman on the low side. And they are steadily creeping into the lead, as you just saw Mike McCrate unfortunately go a lap down to your race leaders. So the good news is, if you're a Mike McCrate fan, he is in the free pass position currently. The bad news is this Peloton is catching him quickly. And if you look at the tail end of that group, that's Michael Anthony. He's up to speed. He's in a draft. So we're on board with Grant right now. The Charlotte, North Kakalaka native has that Ford wound up as he's sitting in front of Darren Staff's Toyota. As a matter of fact, Grant, currently your highest running non-Toyota, and only the second Toyota in the top 10. As a matter of fact, there's no Chevys currently in the top 15. So you've got the Ford of Grant running in third. You've got the Ford of Lane Hosler running in 10th. And Greg Barnett's Ford is currently kind of at the caboose of just at the caboose of this one right now. Just kind of biding his time. Or no, I'm sorry, he's leading the second group. Oh, business is picking up here. Mike McCrate now in the slipstream as the Peloton has caught the leaders. Jacob Grant leading the charge on that one. Look for him to go to that second lane with a head of steam. Oy. Dylan Grimm, the only one to go with him, as here comes Evan Kinney as well. And that killed a ton of momentum for those guys that were coming up like a freight train. However, they've got 3 strong trucks on the top side right now. Drag race down the back straightaway. Grant pulls alongside of Collins with a good shove from the 89 of Grimm. Coming through 3 and 4 one more time. That was Darren Staff jumping up to that second lane. Is everybody playing a little duck and peek to try to get some cool air to their radiators? Fastest lap of the race so far belongs to that man in the number 6, Evan Kinney. Good grief. Who? Or not? I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore, folks. Yeah, it was 47.55. Almost a full 10 thousandths to the good as Worrell and Grant slugging it out right now. It's Worrell and Collins on the low side. Grant and Grimm on the top shelf. As we are working lap 37 of 80 here tonight from Daytona. Thank you so much for making us a part of your evening. Tony Shabasso up in the booth with you tonight for round number 9 here at Daytona. As part of the Sim Racing Media family of broadcasts. And in case you missed it earlier, we do have 5 races coming for you tomorrow, starting at 7:50 Eastern Time with the Gunner for SR series as they go to their next round. 8:20, we've got the Truckers Speed America Cup Series from Gateway, the Rickmatech Cup Series at 8:40 from Kentucky, the Monsters of Energy at Pocono at 8:50, and then the nightcap, as we always do on Tuesday nights here, and has been a tradition for the past 4 years. The Western States Racing League, we're now in season 47 of those guys as they go to Road America for the next round of their series. So if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action as we have racing 7 nights a week here on Sim Racing Media. Chris Worrell continues to show the way on the low side. He's got Dylan Grimm and Darren Staff with him. Jacob Grant slots into 4th. And the fact that these guys are starting to get single filed out, that's usually the tattletale that we're getting ready for some green flag pit stops. Now, the last time everybody was down pit road was either lap 22, 23, or 24. And that's about all you're going to be able to get out of a Tank and Go Fast here. You might be able to stretch it to 25 if you're deep in a group of cars and you're not having to put your foot through the floorboard. But right now, Chris Worrell has led quite a few laps since that green flag pit stop. And the rest of the field looks like they're just content to use him as the proverbial fuel pig. Love that camera view. Lane Hosler, the only one right now on the top side. Zero help for the 61 right now, as he's currently sitting in 6th. With the lap truck of Mike McCrate to his inside. Good news is here comes the cavalry as Rye Lewis comes up to try to help Hosler on the top shelf. Checking back with this next group back here. That's Greg Barnett leading as there's a 22-second deficit from Barnett to Nate Brown. Brown in 14th, Barnett here in 15th. And the bad news for Greg Barnett, Austin Carey, there you see him in the Falcon Tools double deuce on the low side. You see him about 6th truck in line. Yeah, that's Carey, who came into tonight 1 point behind Barnett in the point standings. Now, they still have to factor in the drop week, so nothing is set in stone yet. But coming down to the wire next week at the Lady in Black, I can't think of any place better to solve this little issue than at the track Too Tough to Tame to decide who's going to walk away with the Season 12 championship. Worrell continues to show the way at the front of this piece. You pretty much throw a blanket over your top 14, as they do have the lap truck of Michael Anthony and the lap truck of Mike McCrate up there with them. There's McCrate in the Pennzoil number 8 that just flashed by there on the low side. So working lap 42 of 80, just past the halfway mark. This is quickly becoming a tale of two races right now. And, you know, as I mentioned earlier about Michael Anthony, we know that the 97 of Chris Worrell knows how to get it done on a super speedway, especially at Daytona in the trucks. Had a lot of success in that combination in the iRacing East Super Speedway Series that you can find every Friday night here on Sim Racing Media, as they are just kicking off their next season. We're going to round 2 this coming Friday, as Hosler leading the charge on the second lane. He's got the 4 of Talman with him, and the 18 of Parker Collins also up there on the top side. Strong group of trucks up there, as Hosler almost... Oh, he didn't have the clear. That really stacked everybody up. We've got a Waffle House situation right now, as trucks are scattered, smothered, and covered all over this track. Oh, to be a fly on the wall right now. There you see Hosler, a little bit of damage on the right rear, right under the fuel filler. And we'll take a look at Worrell. Actually, we're going to go on board with Grimm and look back at Worrell and see if we can see any damage on the front of that truck. Yeah, just a little bit. You can see that hood's not sitting flush anymore. As he flashes by Hosler, you can see that front end is not as aerodynamic as it could be on the Tundra of Worrell. And we're going to take a look. This is from Evan Kinney up to Lane Hosler. Wait for him to get to the inside to see if we can see any, yeah, it's definitely a little flatter on the left side than it is on the right of the 61 of Hosler. As we're looking back, or we're looking forward from Evan Kinney now. It's the camera right above the splitter. And you can see that left rear fender area is kind of caved in right at the wheel. And green flag pit stops happening as Worrell elects to stay out. Worrell, Toole, Hosler, Kinney, Brown, and Moore all electing to stay out. Michael Anthony up there as well, trying to help his balls out teammate Chris Worrell. Currently sitting a lap down is the 99 of Brian Toole. So 3 Toyotas teaming up against the domestics. Oh my. What just happened? Oh my. As we're going to back that up just a tick. You get to see behind the curtain, folks. Oh. So the 45 gets into the 59. Not what he was hoping for at all. And guess what? That pretty much gives the guys that stayed out a free pit stop. Remember what I said about a mid-race caution? Yeah. You can now safely put 4 tires on and not hemorrhage spots. So Worrell, Toole, Hosler, Kinney, Brown, Moore, Lewis, Staff, Grimm, and Grant rounding out your top 10 as we currently sit. As we're going to see some wholesale pit stops here, as everybody from the 20 of Rye Lewis on back has already completed their stop. Parker Collins and Nate Talman both popped for speeding on. 45-second hold in their boxes, respectively. So there is Austin Carey, going to restart in, currently sitting in 4th. Sitting plus 18. And the man that he was 1 point behind coming into tonight is now trapped behind the pace car. The only good news is Barnett has already been down pit road, so he's looking to get the wave around. That'll put him at the tail end of the lead lap, as the entirety of everybody that did not come down during the green flag are taking the opportunity now to pit those trucks under the caution. That being said, we are going to step away, pay a couple of quick bills, and we will be right back.
Drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime! And we are back at Daytona as I'm trying to figure out what is going on. The pace car never gave the wave around. That is interesting. Not at all what I was expecting to see.
Hang on, we're not going green.
That explains it. They just extended the caution, try to get this sorted out. So we are still waiting on Fred Garcia, Parker Collins, Nate Talman, Greg Barnett, Joey Steyer, Stephen Tuck, Jamie LaRoque, all to get their wave arounds for being trapped behind the pace car. Or not. Well, that was interesting. As we do have some takers bringing it down pit road, trying to pack those things as full of fuel as they can get. As we are looks like we're gonna restart right with 30 to go. Bad news is you still can't make it from here. You're gonna have to go into fuel conservation mode right from the get as this green flag comes back out. So let's take a look at our lead lap trucks. Ryan Lewis, Darren Staff, Austin Carey, Dylan Grimm, Chris Worrell, Brian Toole, Chris Smith, Nate Brown, Jacob Grant, and Abram Gaston. Jeremy Moore, Michael Anthony, Evan Kinney, and Lane Hosler rounding out your lead lap trucks. As we are still waiting for these guys to really form it up. Not sure what exactly is going on, because just so no one out there in YouTube land gets offended, we do not have the in-sim chatter turned on. Ry Lewis going to have the buttons to be able to work its way through the 3-4 complex one more time. Going to restart with 30 to go here at Daytona. Lewis brings him into the Geico restart zone.
Green flag.
Wastes absolutely no time jumping on the loud pedal, and we are back underway. But the question is, did Lewis get too good of a jump? Both he and Dylan Grimm have a lot of separation. Lewis goes to the high side. Grimm stays to the low side. And that is definitely going to open up the door for the chase pack led by Brian Toole and Chris Worrell. Worrell wastes absolutely no time going to that second lane. And here comes the double deuce of Austin Carey. Carey looking to take the points lead back, coming out of the penultimate round here tonight at Daytona. It is really, that is Parker Collins was looking to make it 3 wide. So the trucks caught a lap down. Tellman and Collins both got popped for speeding. Wave around issues for Greg Barnett, as he's currently mired back in 15th. So now the question is, who's going to play spoiler? As we see Stiers flirting with the apron. 3 wide is Austin Carey bailing out. Apparently saw how chippy it was getting up there in that lead pack and wanted absolutely no part of it. Can't say I blame him. Oy. 3 wide through the tri-oval. That's never a good idea, guys. Ry Lewis now with a nose out front. Dylan Staff, and we've got contact, and we've got trucks around.
Yellow, yellow.
Ah, crap. There it is. Oy. So we were actually going to take a look at, if I can find him, there he is. I'm going to take a look at the 59 of Staff. There he's already sideways. So we're going to take a quick look back at this. As you see, he's trying to make it up through the middle. Worrell sees it popping off and wisely backs out of the gas. As we're going to watch this at quarter speed here. Worrell's backing out of it. Greg Barnett, nowhere to go, catches a race car to the face. Oh, brother. And apparently, apparently nobody knows what a brake pedal is for. want to watch this again. Boom, 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 boom. Ouch. That was some heavy hits there. As we go back live. Staff, Tuck, and Garcia all catching a big piece of that one. Hayes has put it on Aller. And we've got some drivers electing to go down pit road. So that's going to put Talman back on the lead lap in the 4. Ry Lewis stays out. Austin Carey stays out. Parker Collins gets trapped a lap down. Greg Barnett gets trapped a lap down. And that's Joey Stiers also getting trapped a lap down. You know, you're almost within the range of you can make it from here. Almost. So far, the longest we've seen anybody stay out is 25 laps. Not sure, as we're 26 to go right now. Not exactly sure what's going to happen here. It's possible. I mean, these guys that just topped off, as Michael Anthony is now back on the lead lap. Evan Kinney, Jacob Grant, Jeremy Moore, Brian Toole, Chris Worrell doing a little bit of damage repair. Abram Gaston, Lane Hosler doing a little bit of damage repair. Austin Carey peels off. So does a lot of other guys. Dylan Grimm stays out. Jacob Grant stays out. 25 to go as the lights go out on the pace car. I'm not sure if the 14 beat the pace car off pit road. Yes, he did. So it leaves us with 14 trucks left on the lead lap. And I dare say that we just saw the money stop from most of the field, as we are currently 25 to go. That's the longest we've seen anybody go under green flag conditions. Ry Lewis, Dylan Grimm, Jacob Grant. Ry Lewis actually came down on lap 45. So he's going to really be behind the 8 ball. He's praying for a couple more cautions. Ry Lewis was down, Dylan Grimm was down on 54. Jacob Grant was down on 54. And Abram Gaston was down on 54. Everybody else lapped 55. Which means that with some working the draft effectively, you can make it from here, provided we don't go into overtime. In case you're wondering about the recap so far, this is only our second caution for incident as the field works its way out of turn number 4. Lewis has the button as he brings him into the Geico restart zone.
Green.
Pulls the trigger, and I'm almost thinking he may have gotten too good of a getaway. Here comes Dylan Grimm on the top side as he has the 45 of Grant in tow with him. There's the 15 of Jamie LaRoque, who is a lap truck. Unfortunately, not able to get to the back bumper of Ry Lewis. Oy. That was a sketchy moment. So now Jacob Grant leads the low side as he picks up Lewis. Lewis more comfortable pushing than he is being pushed. And that's something we've seen over the last couple of seasons out of the 20. And Jacob Grant's coming down pit road. Ry Lewis still has to come down for his money stop. Abram Gaston currently the first of the trucks that has a possibility of making it from here, as he is alone on the top side. Dylan Grimm and the 18 of Parker Collins on the low side. Collins caught a lap down when the last green flag pit stops were starting to pile through. So unfortunately for him, no bueno. Everybody minding their P's and Q's. Nobody wants to see another caution. So you've got Lewis, Grimm, Gaston, Moore, Kinney, Anthony, Hosler, and Worrell running out your top 8. There's the 99 of Brian Toole behind Worrell. And then you've got a big gap back to the 4 of Talmadge, as he is still on pit road. Nate Brown and company. Nate is way off pace right now. And I didn't see where it said anything happened to him. Looks like he's trying to pick up Austin Carey. As there is the Falcon Tire double deuce. And it looks like that's what happened. Brown got off the trigger to try to pick Austin. Oh no, that truck is not running right. So meanwhile, at the front of this piece, Abram Gaston in that Vanatech number 63 leads on the top side. He's got Parker Collins to punch the hole in the air for him. Taking a quick check of your point standings. There is Greg Barnett, currently in the free pass position, should another caution come out. Austin, and he's in 12th. Austin Carey, mired way back here in 18th, running by his lonesome. That's not a good thing. As we go on board with your current race leader, that is Ry Lewis. Tiny Dog Racing Toyota right now shows the way. He does have the lap truck in front of him, as here comes Barnett and Stiers looking to get their lap back the hard way. Barnett does have it. Stiers now in the free pass position. 2 Toyotas on the low side, 2 domestics on the top side, as that is Barnett's Ford leading Stiers. Again, that is the race for the free pass position. Right now, they're both technically back on the lead lap, which would give that Pennzoil number 8 way at the tail end of this little grouping of Mike McCrate the free pass. They're going to need help. 19 laps to go. Ry Lewis shows the way. And there's Chris Worrell at the tail end of your top 5. Almost a full... If I'm seeing this right, that's a 47-second gap. Oh yeah, Parker Collins is the next one who's a lap down. So Collins technically back on the lead lap, as are the 38 of Greg Barnett and the 23 of Joey Stiers. Again, technically back on the lead lap. Wayne Hosler trying to help his own position, as 3 trucks now working well on the top side. something might be going on with Dylan Grimm's Toyota, as he is definitely falling backwards, as Jeremy Moore and Evan Kinney are now starting to close in on him. So, and they are fast approaching the lap truck. I believe that's the 14. Yes, it is. Chris Smith getting down and out of the way. Unfortunately, they caught him in the tri-oval. That's the sketchiest part of the track to catch a lap car in. Meanwhile, back at the front, Barnett and Collins do have their laps back, as they are down on the low side now in front of your race leader. That is the 20 of Rye Lewis. 17 laps to go. As Stiers trying to get a push off of Lane Hosler. Hosler trying to help him, knowing that it'll help his own cause. As Hosler currently being scored in second. Your second biggest mover of the night, as Jeremy Moore in that DuPont number 24 is your biggest mover, currently sitting in fourth, plus 13 from where he started. Hosler plus 11. Greg Barnett plus 11. Brian Toole in the 99 plus 10. Biggest mover in the wrong direction, Darren Staff and Kevin Hayes at minus 14 and minus 17 respectively. Hosler trying to push Stiers up there to help his own cause. Good run out of turn number 4, using the downhill coming off that banking. Collins catches the apron again. Hosler now with the nose out in front of Rye Lewis. Lewis goes up to try to break the side draft on Stiers and Hosler. And that is Austin Collins. So the good news is, if you're Greg Barnett, you probably should be leaving here with the points lead. Going into the final race of the season next week at Darlington, Katie, bar the door, because it's going to get fun real quick. 14 laps to go. Hosler and Lewis still run side by side in the draft. Lewis has 2 lap trucks in front of him. Hosler only has the 1, which is why Hosler does have almost 3/4 of a truck, now a full truck to the good over the 20 of Rye Lewis. Austin Carey coming up to try to help his own cause. Stiers goes to the top shelf to try to give Hosler a little bit of breathing room, get some cool air to that radiator. It'll be 13 to go, this time at the stripe. And you got to wonder, how much longer can Lewis hang out there? I mean, yes, he's not leading this piece. He's not punching the hole in the air. But he was last down pit road on lap 45. That's a big ask. I mean, you're talking 35 laps out of a tank of Go Fast here tonight. And with them only allowing 70% fuel fill. That's... 35 laps is quite the haul. It Stiers into the wall. Carries into the wall. How is that not a caution? Let's go back and take a look. This is Carey. Watch that Falcon tire number 22. They flash by Nate Brown. They're fast approaching the lap truck. That is the 4 of Talman. Oi. Well, that just made things more difficult for the 22 going in the next week. But we stay green. So there is Rye Lewis, who now has Dylan Grimm in tow. And they're over 5 seconds to the good over the 24 Jeremy Moore, who is rounding out your podium. Those 3 trucks in front of Rye Lewis's Tiny Dog Racing number 20. Those are all lap trucks, and he's content to just let them continue to punch the hole in the air for him, so he doesn't have to run full throttle. He can save a little bit of fuel. The only problem is he's really pushing the envelope here, as we're going to be 10 to go at the stripe. That's a big ask. Currently working lap 71 of 80. We're going to go back and take a look at the peloton now, being led by the 6 of Evan Kinney and the 24 Jeremy Moore. Chris Worrell up there with him. Brian Toole. Michael Anthony all up there. And there is Hosler behind Stiers again. Just happened to Parker Collins is going to get popped for unsafe pit entry. Go back and take a look at what happened there. Trying to come down pit road, just overcooks it. Missed his braking point. That's going to be a 30-second hold in his pit box as Rye Lewis relinquishes the lead to come down for his money stop. That's going to leave that man, Dylan Grimm. Dylan Grimm. Hold on to her. There's Jamie LaRoque on the top side, trying to get out of the way. Greg Barnett peels off. Apparently he can't make it from here either. That is the 4, Nate Talman, who is 2 laps down. Jamie LaRoque sits 2 laps down as well, as we are 8 to go. And Dylan Grimm is hemorrhaging time right now, as there's Jeremy Moore, Evan Kinney, Chris Worrell, Brian Toole, and Michael Anthony with a good head of steam. Almost 10 mile an hour faster than your race leader currently. The only problem is they don't have a lane. It killed a ton of momentum as Jeremy Moore with Evan Kinney in tow. Here comes Chris Worrell on the top side. As unfortunately Grimm now caught behind the lap truck of Nate Talman. 7 to go. We are on board with the 24 Jeremy Moore. Calls Hotlanta home. Evan Kinney in tow. This is the highest forward we've seen both of those drivers tonight. It is Moore being currently scored as your biggest mover. Plus 16. Kinney plus 12. Dylan Grimm back where he started. Currently sits in third. And then he's got those 2 Balls Garana teammates behind him. This is going to get interesting, as that's the lap truck again of Nate Talman. Looks like he was trying to get some clean air to the radiator of that truck. Top 6, all Toyotas right now. Six laps to go. Jeremy Moore leads Kinney and Grimm. A little bit of separation back to Grimm, though, as Moore and Kinney have a lap truck in between them. In between themselves and Grimm, that is. And this is about the time where we usually see Worrell and Anthony make the call and just go into full send-it mode. 5 laps to go. Jeremy Moore, Evan Kinney, Dylan Grimm, Chris Worrell, Michael Anthony, Brian Toole, Lane Hosler. Abram Gaston just went down pit road, could not make it on fuel. Ry Lewis should be able to make it. Lewis in the 20, being scored as the last truck on the lead lap. We're keeping an eye on this battle for the final step of the podium. Neither one of those balls out racing trucks behind Grimm want to tip their hat too soon, as they've got to tiptoe through, and that is Ry Lewis going a lap down. 4 to go. Jeremy Moore continues to show the way. Evan Kinney, Dylan Grimm, Chris Worrell, Michael Anthony, and Brian Toole all relatively within striking distance right now. We are keeping an eye on that battle for third, as it's about to get interesting. In case you're wondering about speed differentials, that second group, led by Grimm, about 5 miles an hour faster than Moore and Kinney are. 3 laps to go. This time as they come through the tri-oval. As the Fora Talman kind of blocking that upper lane right now. Not really giving anybody a room to make a run. With the point standings as tight as it is, every point counts. Nobody wants to do anything crazy, especially this late into the race. Moore leads Kinney at the front of this. Joey Steyer's trying to get his lap back the hard way, as he has the 99 of Brian Toole. It's going to be popsicle sticks in the air this time by. Jeremy Moore in command of it. Moore just has to hold on for 5 more miles. Moore, Kinney, Grimm, Worrell, Anthony, your top 5 as they currently sit. Anthony trying to make a run on the top side, as Grimm goes up to top shelf as well. Boy. Jeremy Moore, with a good head of steam, has to make that truck just a little bit wider for 1 more lap. Steyers peels off. Does Moore have enough in the tank? Does anybody have enough in the tank that came down back on lap 55? We're about to find out. White flag in the air. We are racing back to checkers. Some dirty pool as Talman got the 6 of Kinney loose. Here comes Worrell on the top side. 3 wide down the backstretch. Oh no. Moore just got sent. It's Worrell and Anthony at the front of this piece. One helped the other last week. They're trying to switch roles this week. Coming out of turn number 4 for the final time. Checkered flag in the air. Your winner at Daytona, Chris Worrell. Michael Anthony, Brian Toole hanging on for second and third. Dylan Grimm in fourth. Evan Kinney, Lane Hosler, Jeremy Moore rounding out your lead lap trucks. And I have officially lost my voice. out of the exciting racing that we have seen here tonight. We're going to take a quick second, and we are going to reach out now to the driver of that Balls Garana number 97 Toyota Tundra. Chris, it took you 4 races to do it, but you finally got the monkey off your back.
Oh man, and such a cool way to I'm setting 0.4 estimated laps right now. I'm trying to save enough just for a burnout here. Me and Mike had hardly anything left. That was one of the most fun, if not the funnest, super speedway race I've ever done. Just the fact that it finished like that was just awesome.
I knew it was coming. I was just wondering how late you guys were going to save it before you went. And you just ran out of gas, didn't you?
No, not yet. I will here soon, though. Hold on, I got to start the truck. All right, here we go. Let's run it out. But no, the funny thing is me and Mike, our math was wrong. We thought we were going to have like a lap short. And that we would all be coasting the line. But then when we realized the white flag came out, and I was like, shit, or excuse my language, I was like, oh crap.
Understandable.
We got 1.4 left to get to the line. And we just booked it, got on that third lane, and just went for it. I'm sorry, I'm just pretty excited for that win. That was a lot of fun.
It was a long time coming in this league, Chris, and in back-to-back weeks, Balls Out Racing goes 1-2.
Yes, sir. Big shout out to my buddy Mike, Balls Out Racing, SRM, you, Tony, and all the guys in this league. That was a lot of fun.
Chris Worrell, we will see you next week at the Lady in Black. Congratulations on getting your first win here in the CleanRacing.net Truck Series. As your partner in crime, going to be burning them out with you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Tony.
So there was our race winner, and joining him now is the man that he pushed him to the victory this week, Michael Anthony. Back-to-back 1-2 finishes for Balls Out Racing. Congratulations.
Yeah, appreciate it. It was good to get my teammate a win before the season ended. I know we joined the season a little bit late. It's good to get both of us one.
I dare say you guys have definitely put this league on notice that you're going to be 2 of the contenders next season in the Season 13 Points Championship.
Yeah, can't wait for the start of next season. I'm fortunately going to miss next week's race. Got a fantasy football draft. Can't miss that.
Fair enough.
And get ready to go for the start of the next season, you know. Race all 10 races and fight for a championship.
Absolutely. But, Mike, who do you need to thank before we let you go celebrate with your teammate?
The broadcast, of course. Clean Racing, Net, Balls Out Racing, all my teammates. Chris, Kyle, Keith, Mark, Jordan. I know they don't race in this league, but all those guys. Yeah. Like I say, you guys for putting on the broadcast as well. I don't know if I said that or not, but... Well,
it's our pleasure, Mike, when you guys give us action like that at the closing laps here at Daytona. Best of luck to you in your fantasy draft, and we'll see you back in Season 13.
Thanks, Tony. Have a good night.
So there was our 1 and 2, and unfortunately, we do not have our third-place finisher, Brian Toole, here in the Discord server. If he is, he's hiding from me because I don't see him. But I do apologize if he is here because I'm not seeing where he is. Okay, so we are going to move on now to the... get rid of that, and bring that up. As we do see our finishing order here, Chris Worrell, Michael Anthony go 1-2 for the second week in a row. Brian Toole coming home in third. Dylan Grimm in fourth. Evan Kinney, Lane Hosler, and Jeremy Moore rounding out your lead lap trucks here tonight. Ton of trucks getting caught laps down due to pit strategy not playing the right way for them. Rye Lewis led quite a few laps, comes home in eighth. Abram Gaston, Joey Stiers rounding out your top 10. Mike McCrate, Nate Tallman, Greg Barnett, Parker Collins, Jamie LaRoque rounding out your top 15. Nate Brown, Stephen Tuck, Chris Smith, Austin Carey, Jacob Grant rounding out your top 20. And then Darren Staff, Fred Garcia, and Kevin Hayes all putting it on the hauler early. So that's going to do it for us tonight here from Daytona. Thank you so much for making us a part of your evening.
again, tomorrow night we do have a quintuple header on tap for you, starting at 7:40 Eastern time with the Gunner for SR Cup Series, and then at 8:20 we have the AARL Truckers Free America Cup Series from Gateway, followed by the Rickmatech Cup Series from Kentucky at 8:40. 8:50 gives us the Monsters of Energy Cup Series from Pocono, Xfinity Series from Pocono at 8:50, and then the nightcap, Western States Racing League Truck Series from Road America at 10:05. So, again, with a heavy heart this week, as we have lost one of our own, this is Tony Trapasso reminding you, ladies and gentlemen, to, as you walk down the road of life this week, I got something new for you to do. Don't miss an opportunity to tell your family that you love them. Stay safe until we meet again, folks. Good night, everybody.